Hello everyone, I'm Jacob and welcome to my preview of the 2016 Capital One Cup final, also known as the League Cup, which is between Premier League clubs Liverpool and Manchester City at Wembley Stadium. Now in local time, the game will get underway at 4:30 PM on Sunday the 28th of February. For Australians, that is Monday the 29th of February at 3:30 AM. Now this is the first ever time Liverpool and Manchester City will meet in a Capital One Cup final. They never in the League Cup history have met in a Capital One Cup final. Now Liverpool have played in 11 Capital One Cup finals over the League Cup history. They have won 8, which included 4 Capital One Cup final wins in a row in 1981, 82, 83 and 84. They've came runners-up in 3 Capital One Cup finals. Manchester City have only played in 4 Capital One Cup finals. They've won 3 of them, which was in 1970, 1976, and the recent one being against Sunderland in 2014, just a couple of years ago. They've lost 1, which was in 1974. Time now to have a look at the road to the Capital One Cup final for both these two sides. I start with Liverpool, where they started their campaign with a 1-1 draw at home between Carlisle United. It finished in penalties 3-2, with Liverpool obviously winning. Liverpool then went on to win in the round of 16 against Bournemouth at Anfield. They won that game 1-0 and then went on to win against Southampton away from home in a smashing 6-1 victory. Liverpool then managed to get an away win against Stoke in their first leg of the semi-finals, but then Stoke were able to get a goal back in the second leg at Anfield and had to go down to penalties. This was the second game, Capital One Cup game for this year, that Liverpool had to go down and do penalties to win the game, and they won that game 6-5 in penalties. And now they're at the final against Manchester City. Manchester City started off their Capital One Cup campaign against their rivals from the 2014 Capital One Cup final. That's Sunderland. They won that game 4-1 away from home. They then managed to beat Crystal Palace in the round of 16 5-1 at their own ground at Etihad Stadium. In the quarterfinals, they beat Hull City 4-1 at home. They then went to the semi-finals, where they got beaten by Everton in the first leg 2-1, but then managed to win the second leg at home 3-1 to put themselves into the Capital One Cup final. Okay, time to have a look at the last time these two teams met. It was in a Premier League clash last year in November, and it finished Liverpool winning 4-1 at Etihad Stadium, which is Manchester City's home ground. Now, they actually got the first 3 goals. There was an own goal in Mangala for Manchester City, getting that goal for Liverpool. Then Coutinho and Firmino managed to score to make it 3-0 before Aguero got a goal to make it 1-3 leading into half-time. But Liverpool sealed a 4-1 victory, with Skirtle getting an 81st minute goal. It was a pretty big smashing, and it really shows how inconsistent Manchester City are at the times of this season. Okay, so time now to have a look at my tip for this year's Capital One Cup final. It's going to be a very interesting clash, I must say, and it's been kind of hard to tip a winner, but I think I'm going to tip Liverpool to win 2-1. I just think Manchester City are a bit inconsistent at times this season. Even though they won their last match, which was a Champions League match against Dynamo, they actually got smashed by Chelsea in an FA Cup game just a week or so ago, which ended 5-1 at Stamford Bridge. That was a big smashing. But they do have some key players like De Bruyne, who is actually the leading goal scorer in the Capital One Cup at the moment. And they also have, of course, Aguero, Sterling, who is their leading assists in the Capital One Cup this season as a club. And of course, Liverpool, though, they have some great players, Benteke being one of them, Firmino, who of course scored in the last game. And look, I think Liverpool will win 2-1. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes down to extra time or possibly even penalties, especially the way that Liverpool have played in the Capital One Cup this season. But that's going to be my tip. Liverpool winning 2-1 at Wembley Stadium to win the silverware. However, I know Manchester City do want to win it for their manager, who is leaving the city at the end of the season. Okay, so that's it for this Capital One Cup final preview. I do hope you enjoy it wherever you may be watching it from. Don't forget to like, comment and share this video. I'd really appreciate it. Comment down below who you think will win this year's Capital One Cup final at Wembley. Don't forget to subscribe for more content. I'm going to be doing more football previews over the next couple of months. I've got an A-League Grand Final preview coming in April, as well as an FA Cup final preview, and also a Champions League final preview coming as well. We may even do a Europa League. We'll see how we go. I won't promise anything. Of course, if you're an all-round sports fan, then do subscribe to the channel, because I do other sporting videos as well. So thank you very much for watching this Capital One Cup final preview. I'm Jacob. I hope you enjoy the Capital One Cup final. Bye for now.